Hello everybody, I'm the Fly Guy, and today we are going to be doing some controller sounds, as well as telling you a little bit about some of my favorite story games. A couple of them have a little bit of a multiplayer aspect to them, but for the most part, they are story games. Kind of like a co-op story game. So let me grab the first game really quick. This is actually one of my favorites. Now, I haven't played like some of the earlier ones, well, any of them, really. I haven't played 1, 2, or 3, but once I got the fourth one, I pretty much bought every single one of them that came after. I really don't remember much from this game, but it's basically a open world like a first person shooter. I really don't know what else to call it. A couple aspects of this game that I really enjoyed were the fact that you could have like a little personal aircraft. It was like a one-seater helicopter, and for some reason, just that simple aspect of the game really made me enjoy it. I don't really know why I enjoy such a simple aspect like that, but I do. So let's go to the next game for a second. And the legend himself, the Batman. I don't care who you are. If you play this game, you're gonna enjoy it. My favorite character is the Arkham Knight. I actually had like an obsession with the Arkham Knight. It kind of fits into that aspect, like I said a while ago, having compact vehicles and stuff like that. The Batmobile was really fun to use, never seen before in any game like that. And the Arkham Knight had 2 pistols, which could be turned into a long-range sniper rifle. And I found that to be really, cool, I guess. This is Scarecrow, the main overall villain. The Arkham Knight is somewhat of a villain, but he's not the main villain. He ends up actually becoming sort of friend. He never actually helps you in the story until the very end, but overall he becomes an ally, which is really cool. And that's not a spoiler, by the way, because this game first came out when PS4 came out, which was 7.5 years ago. Here's another game that, well, actually this is not a story game whatsoever, but I thought I'd still include it because there's another item that goes along with it that I wanted to add, and I think it makes pretty good sounds. I don't know if you've ever played Rainbow Six Siege before, but this game is probably the best thing to compare it to. This is a VR game, just like Rainbow. Every character in this game has a little ability, but it's a VR game, and that makes it really cool. But obviously with VR there's some problems with getting the gun to stay in line, because you'll be sitting there and you'll be holding it straight in real life, but in the game it'll just slowly turn, so you'll be holding it straight in real life, but then it'll be like this on your screen, and it's tragic. It's really annoying, so when you end up having to shoot, you have to hold it insanely weird. I'm gonna grab that gun right now. Here's the gun. If I accidentally turn my PlayStation on right now, I'm gonna be so irritated. This isn't as good as I thought it would be. Well, that's a new sound. Alright, well, let's move on to GTA 4. Surprisingly, this is one of my all-time favorites, because it had so much to do. And if you don't know, this is actually a PS3 game. And at the time, that is a pretty good accomplishment. At least I'd say. My favorite thing to do was to steal a bunch of furnaces, I think they were called. They were like the random Lamborghini that would spawn around. And I would also like to get on a motorcycle and pick up people. Like, I'd pick up my girlfriend. I would say, like, I forgot her name, but I would call her and be like, hey, let's go bowling. And then I'd pick her up. And then I'd pick her up on a motorcycle specifically. And then I'd go as fast as I could and run into a wall. So then she'd go flying off. And then I'd get a call later and say, oh hey, I was at the hospital because something happened, I'm sorry. And I was like, I don't know why that was so hilarious to me. But yeah, that's my GTA 4 story. Hope you enjoyed it. And obviously, I have to include GTA 5 in there. I don't know whether to say GTA 4 or 5 is better, to be honest. I'd say GTA 5 had, I hate to say better, or more things to do, because GTA 4 is older and it makes sense for it to have less things to do. But overall, I think GTA 5 did a little bit better, as it should be, with most games at least. Some games usually do worse. But yeah. Oh. Well, that's not GTA 5. Yeah, look at that. GTA 5. Who knew? This is actually the first time I've looked into the book. I didn't realize they gave you an entire map. That's insane. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed my Grand Theft Auto 6, like it says right there. Now, this game almost makes me want to sit in a corner and just cry. Because when they made Destiny 2, they took out so many good things from this game. They also added better things, of course, but overall, I think Destiny 1 was definitely better. They completely trashed my whole playstyle, and the way I like to play most games, if I have the choice, is if there's ever a character who can turn invisible, then I will pick that character. And obviously, the hunter, if you play the game, the hunter is the class that can turn invisible. I used to use a gauntlet that had a beetle on it, and I think the way it worked was if I meleeed somebody, I could turn invisible. And one ability I had on the hunter himself was if I stayed crouched for long enough, I could turn invisible. And I also used the Patience in Time sniper rifle, which, if you aim down sights long enough, you would eventually turn invisible. So I was pretty much always invisible, and leaving the enemies to fight my teammates instead of me. But And eventually, once the Stormcaller came out for the Warlock, I just, for some reason, switched to the Warlock because I thought that was so cool. Being able to shoot lightning out of your hands like Palpatine or something. Flying around like a wizard. Screaming unlimited power. You know how it is. This is one of the examples of a game that is not entirely story, but it has an aspect of multiplayer. It was mainly story-based, but you could play with teammates while you do the story. So it's kind of like a co-op story, if you think of it that way. And they have a couple solely dedicated multiplayer playlists if you wish to only play multiplayer. Kind of like a Call of Duty game, but opposite. In Call of Duty it's mainly multiplayer and a little bit of story, but in this game it's mostly story and a little bit of multiplayer. Now, of course, I do have a ton of games that are downloaded on my PlayStation and that I don't have the disc for. And one of those is Dying Light. It's a co-op single-player game, I guess you could call it. It's definitely one of my favorites. My ideal game that I wish was a thing was a game kind of like I Am Legend, but I want it to be kind of like Ark, an open world survival game where you can build, defend, and stuff like that, but have aspects of I Am Legend, like pretty much be I Am Legend. Who doesn't want that? A zombie game like I Am Legend. By the way, I Am Legend is a movie. Just in case you didn't know. I guess one of the closest games to I Am Legend would be something like 7 Days to Die. The Forest. I really enjoyed The Forest actually. That was really fun. But yeah, I'm really surprised no one's made a game about that. It's insane. But anyways, I think I'm gonna end it here. I hope you enjoyed my little list of favorite story mode games. I'll see you next time, my friend.